TMCC.
Welcome to TMCC, Truckee Meadows Community College. It's an honor for us to go ahead and be here. And let me go ahead and, if I may, have you all stand. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your hats. If you're active military or past military, you may salute. Our presentation of colors is by the North Valleys High School Air Force Junior ROTC, Color Guard. And the singing of our national anthem, we'll ask that you would remain standing. Following that, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer. Commanding the Color Guard and carrying the American flag is Cadet First Lieutenant Thomas Pelham. Carrying the POW MIA flag, prisoner of war and missing in action, is Cadet Staff Sergeant Kevin Guzman. The guards are Cadet First Lieutenant Harley Gonzalez, Cadet Staff Sergeant Kevin Nunez, and supervising the Color Guard is the Chief Master Sergeant Dave Quisenberry of the United States Air Force, retired.
Raise heads. Arms.
If you all listen to these words for me, please. Father God, we praise you and thank you for letting us be here today. Ask a special prayer for all of our heroes that have served our country and those who continue to serve. Bless each one of us a special way this day. In Christ's name I pray, amen. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and welcome our president of Truckee Meadows Community College, President Sheehan.
Bienvenidos, soy María Sheehan, presidente del Colegio TMCC. What a wonderful way for us to begin the celebration of the wonderful month that we are in, Hispanic Heritage Month, and how fortunate are we at Truckee Meadows Community College to be able to host the Legacy of Honor wonderful exhibition. And if you haven't had a chance to take a look, spend the time. There are some wonderful artifacts to take a look at, some memories of those who have served with such distinction. I get a chance to say a few thank yous, and there are many to give, but I want to start by thanking the Nevada Military Support Alliance for sponsoring this wonderful display that we have to honor Americans of Hispanic descent who have received the Congressional Medal of Honor. So it really is an educational experience for all of us, because I'm sure that some of these heroes, we had no idea that they were part of our history. I want to also thank the National Hispanic Medal of Honor Society for setting up this wonderful display for us. This organization is one that's dedicated to promoting awareness and patriotism, gratitude, and loyalty, which Hispanic Americans have served the United States of America so proudly over the years. Today we honor their sacrifices, the sacrifices of all who have served in the U.S. military armed forces to protect the freedom that we as Americans so richly enjoy. I also want to say thank you to the families for their sacrifices of sharing those brave men and women in service to our country. I'd like to give a thank you to our facilities crew that worked long and hard to make sure that everything was ready for today. I think that they had to break down a Saturday event and set up this event so that it would be ready, and I think they did a great job, and all who have dedicated so many hours to make this a special day. And certainly our own interim Dean of Student Services, Estela Gutierrez. Estela, fantastico. Great job. And so now I have an honor to reintroduce to you a gentleman who is Chief of Staff of the Hispanic Medal of Honor Society. Please welcome Richard Cochran.
Thank you, President Sheehan. At this time, I would like to go ahead and I have the honors, of introducing you to an amazing person, and she is your Nevada Attorney General, Catherine Masto.
Good morning. What an honor it is for me to be here with all of you today, and particularly on this day where we get the opportunity to understand and learn from this fantastic exhibit. Let me tell you why it's important for me to be here and why I want to thank all of our military personnel, active military, those who have served in the military, those who fight every day for our freedom, and those who blaze the trail and delivered freedom to us every day at sacrifices from their families, from their own lives. It's important for us to recognize that. This one in particular, however, has some personal significance for me. Many people may or may not know this. I am Mexican American. My father was born in Las Cruces, New Mexico, to two wonderful parents, both Mexican. His father, my grandfather, however, was born in Chihuahua, Mexico. And he came across the border in early 1900s, the Rio Grande, and became a United States citizen in 1920s. They moved from Las Cruces, New Mexico to Las Vegas when my father was 5 years old so that they could have a better life for not only their son and their daughter, who would soon be born thereafter, but to work very hard and build a better life for their family and their legacy. And it is an incredible story for me to have learned it, because one of the things I learned as I grew older, and after my father grew older and retired, he was more willing to talk about his background and his upbringing. If you know anything about growing up in a Hispanic household, you know there's a very dominant male figure. And my father was one of those dominant male figures. Loved him to death. Unfortunately for him, he was surrounded by all women. So we let him think that he was in control, but you know, we had the ability to maneuver through that process. But my father was in the military. When he was younger, about 17 years of age, actually, I hate to say this, he was 16 and he lied about his age, and he joined the Army. Joined the Army, and then he was sent to Korea and served in the Korean War. Now, I never knew this, until years later when my father, after working hard and retiring in his late 60s, started talking about his life in the war, in the Korean War. And I will never forget this. I was living in Washington, D.C. at the time and working with my husband, and they had just built the Korean War Memorial. And I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to be in D.C. and see this war memorial. It is the most incredible thing. It is, if you haven't seen it, it is actually life-size statues of men in the military walking through a field. And when my father and I went to visit it for the very first time, it was winter, it was cold, it was a little dark, and we walked up into this kind of field, and there were at least 20 men, of statues of men in the military walking through this field. It almost looked like they were walking through rice paddies. And we sat there and we walked through that, and he explained to me what it was like to be in the military at that time, and what they felt like, and the cold, and what they had to wear, and the challenges they had. And I will never forget that. Unfortunately, my father passed away at a very early age when he was only 67. But it was because of his sacrifices. It was because he was willing to go out there and join the military and fight for our freedom that I'm here today as your Attorney General. I literally stand on his shoulders and stand on the shoulders of my grandparents who came here fighting to give us a better opportunity. And so I am proud to be here today to kick off this week-long exhibit. It's an incredible exhibit. I had the opportunity to visit with the folks here about a couple of weeks ago. And I invite all of you to take the time to look and read about these significant individuals who sacrificed so much for our freedom. So thank you all for being here today, and thank you for bringing this fantastic exhibit here. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to go ahead and introduce to you our most honored guest, Rudy Hernandez, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, Korean War, the last living survivor of the Korean War of the Hispanic heritage.
I am an American, and it's great to be alive. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to go ahead and have Estella come up, please.
Thank you and good afternoon. I have the great honor to introduce a very special person, a person that's a leader in our community, a true patriot, and a mentor to me. Actually, he swore me into my position in office. And so before I give more formal introduction, let me go ahead and let's introduce him through a video. He spearheads Nevada Military Support Alliance, and he's always been a visionary, and without his support, this display would not be here. So let's go ahead and watch this video.
For nearly 10 years, the Nevada Military Support Alliance has supported Nevada veterans and their families when they needed us most. Those we have lost. Those who have come home. And those who have returned home with the scars of battle. We support our Gold Star families. We assist those who help pick up the pieces. And we will never forget their sacrifices for our liberty. The Nevada Military Support Alliance has partnered with local charities throughout Nevada to highlight the service of our young veterans and expand our mission. And for nearly a decade, we have been blessed with patriotic donors and volunteers who salute our heroes with their generous support. This year, because of your support, the Nevada Military Support Alliance will again partner with Homes for Our Troops and build another adaptive home for a native son returning to Nevada from battle. Army Sergeant Tim Hall was critically injured in a mortar attack in Afghanistan, losing the lower half of his body. Sergeant Hall has had to endure more than 60 surgeries at the Walter Reed Medical Center in Maryland. Soon, Tim will leave the hospital, retire from the military, and return to his community of Hawthorne, Nevada. And when he does, he will find his new adaptive home waiting for him. Thank you for your support of the men and women in the arena who selflessly defend our American way of life. May God bless you and keep you safe at home and abroad.
As I mentioned to you before, there's no other patriot like Perry DeLoretto. He's so committed to our men and women in the military and those we've lost. And, you know, he centers us when it comes to being patriot because we are Americans. And so I know this was a dream initially to bring this display 10 years ago. My husband, Jesse, I know he pointed Alex and I to this organization so that they could be here today. So Perry, thank you on behalf of all of us. And so without further ado, Perry DeLoretto.
Thank you, Estella, and welcome everyone. Good morning. Thank you for having me here, Dr. Sheehan, Attorney General. I'd also like to acknowledge our Brigadier General Burks, Adjutant General for the State of Nevada, and I also see Dr. Ty Cobb over here, Captain Brownell, and many others that mean so much to our state. Chief Hernandez, thank you for coming out and being with us. You know, I've seen this video so many times, but every time it plays, I have to stop what I'm doing and go watch it. I'll just take a couple of minutes and talk about how important I think this is today, what we're doing here. The purpose and the mission of the Nevada Military Support Alliance is to promote the support and the appreciation and the recognition of those that serve in our military. Primarily, we're focused on Nevadan, people from Nevada, supported by those from Nevada. A wonderful opportunity was brought both by two of our directors, Estella and Alex, for Hispanic Awareness Month to sponsor this wonderful display that I had not heard of, nor was I aware of until about 6 months ago. And as I read about it and learned about it, I began to realize how important it is that we acknowledge and we make ourselves aware of the contributions that everyone has made on behalf of our country. Rick Leal, the president of the Hispanic Medal of Honor Society, made a statement to me that I've thought about over and over again, that our strength comes from our diversity. And if you believe that, and I do, then you also have to take the next step, and that is to let everyone know how much their efforts and their sacrifices have been appreciated. And that's what I think is going on here today. You know, some great reading if you ever have a chance. I mean, I see a lot of college students out here, and I know that, you know, their time is really precious when it comes to that. But if you ever want to get to feel really great about our country, and you want to understand what people have done on behalf of our country, it's really easy to do. Go on and read the citations. Read the individual citations for the recipients of the Medal of Honor. I've read Rudy's over and over and over again. Absolutely remarkable what this man did, and saved the lives of his entire platoon under the most adverse condition. Not to overly dwell on the subject, but Rudy's Medal of Honor is because of hand-to-hand combat in the face of overwhelming and perceivably insurmountable odds in combat. That's what you have done for our country, Rudy, and you'll be eternally grateful for it. Thank you. And There are so many stories, and again, I'm talking to you college students now. You know, as you start to move through your life and your education, you have to focus on what goes on in the classroom. You have to do your learning, and that, you know, where the knowledge is there for you to mine and to gain. But I'd also encourage you to never overlook the opportunity of watching one another and learning from one another as individuals, because I believe some of the greatest lessons in life come from watching what other people do and how they do it, what's important to them, and why it's important. That's what's important about this recognition. We celebrate our diversity, we celebrate their contributions that have come from so many sectors of our society. So I would like to thank Rick and Estella and Alex for presenting the opportunity, because I can tell you that the Military Support Alliance is extremely proud to have had the opportunity to sponsor this event. I welcome you all here. I encourage you to look. There are stories here that could consume a lifetime to understand. And this Medal of Honor Society is a very, very exclusive club. And what these people have done on behalf of our country absolutely deserves recognition. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to provide this sponsorship. Good morning.
You can't leave. We have a special presentation for you, Perry.
You know, I don't know how well everybody out here knows Perry, but he has a tendency to fly around the country a little bit. Or in fact, he has a little plane parked off to the side, so whenever he needs to take off and do a jaunt. Well, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day there in Phoenix, Arizona, and he says, I've got just what you need for this gentleman. He says, there's a World War II veteran that on how he passes his time along and everything, he goes to these little places and he makes these, everything from ships to airplanes to all kinds of things. Well, this World War II veteran got together with me, and I'd like to go ahead and present something on behalf of the Hispanic Medal of Honor Society, our president, Mr. Rick Leal, and our distinguished guest here, Medal of Honor recipient Rudy Hernandez, and from all of us here at TMCC, of course, Estella and Alex, where would we be without them, and Jessica Gutierrez. I mean, unbelievable. But this is from all of us to you. Stealth bomber.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I'll ever have one that looks like that, but it looks like it could get after it pretty well in general. Thank you.
We have one more thing. On behalf of the Hispanic Medal of Honor Society, everywhere they go, they present to heroes this medallion. And so today, we're presenting this medallion to Perry De Loreto. We do have two other individuals representing our state, Latina Mexicana, Attorney General Mastos. We also present you with this medallion.
We're dancing here. Here?
No, Dr. Sharon. And to our leader of this campus for her courage during these turbulent times, Dr. Sheehan. We also present you with this medallion. And to our Let's go ahead and start a video, and we have our guest in a minute. We have a special video on Rudy, and then we'll go to our special guest.
I was born in Colton, California, San Bernardino County, and my parents were migrant workers. I was 17 years old. It's kind of hard to get a job. I enlisted in the Army because I could send home money. I was assigned to the 187th Airborne Regimental Combat Team. There was a lot of pride being in the airborne, and I was feeling like Superman, walking with my BAR, that's a Browning automatic rifle. I was 10 feet tall.
On May 31st, 1951, Corporal Rudy Hernandez was part of a company assigned to defend a hill outside the small Korean town of Wonton Ni. An overwhelming force of enemy troops had stormed the position in a fanatical fury, raining artillery, mortar, and machine gun fire down on Hernandez's under-equipped platoon.
We was under attack. We fire our weapons, and we start getting low on ammunition. My buddy was firing, and my platoon leader said, "Withdraw." And I didn't want to withdraw. At that time, I was hit in the head. My rifle didn't work. My rifle jammed. I put my bayonet in my rifle. That's when the other men came. I had 6 grenades in, and I threw all 6. Think no doctor was going to repair me, so I might as well go out all the way. I put my bayonet in my rifle, and I said, "Here I come!" I killed one with the bayonet, and the second one got me here, but he didn't go very far. He just took my teeth out. Yeah, all I know is I killed 6 before falling unconscious.
Hernandez's actions stalled the enemy advance, giving his unit the opportunity to regroup and retake the position. Separated from his unit during the chaos, Hernandez was found the next morning barely alive amidst the bodies of the enemy he had dispatched.
I heard it through one of my buddies that they put me in a body bag, and they thought I was dead. And later, they can come around, and they saw my hand moving, and this guy's not dead.
In addition to his other wounds, shrapnel from the artillery shell had torn away part of Hernandez's brain, leaving him mute and immobile for months. After a grueling recovery, he was informed that he would receive the Medal of Honor.
That's a great honor for us who wear the Medal of Honor, and a privilege to wear the medal. I wasn't there for the medal. I was there for my fight to keep our country free.
In Washington, D.C., President Truman gave him his citation and his medal for above and beyond the call of duty. When Truman bent down alongside of Rudy, he said to him, "I'd rather have that medal than be president." And now, Rudy, thank you again, sir.
Buenos dias. My name is Alex Woodley. I'm a board member for the Nevada Military Support Alliance. In the daytime, I work for the city of Reno, and I work specifically for an individual that I'm about to present. It's an honor for me to present to you our mayor, Bob Cashell.
It's the first time he's ever said that. I have a proclamation here. Whereas the freedom and security that United States citizens enjoy today are results of the vigilant commitment of the armed forces of the United States in preserving our republic as we know it. Whereas the members of our military who serve have fought and have died for freedom all over the world and are compromised multiple different racial backgrounds and heritage, including Hispanics. Whereas the Hispanic Medal of Honor Society is dedicated to promoting the awareness of patriotism, gratitude, and loyalty which Hispanic Americans have for the United States. And whereas the Hispanic Medal of Honor Society focuses on the stories of sacrifice of Latinos, and we believe it is necessary to give visibility to their stories because of the general public is just not aware of the fact that Latinos have been contributing to the strength and safety of the United States since its foundation. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the importance of maintaining a strong, equipped, educated, and trained military to safeguard freedoms, humanity, and peacekeeping efforts around the world. And whereas during September and October, the city of Reno celebrates traditions, ancestry, and unique experiences of those who trace their roots to Spain, Mexico, and countries of Central and South America and the Caribbean. And where it is proper to recognize and honor the dedication and commitment of Hispanic members of the armed forces to the United States and show appreciation for all contributions made by such members since its inception of such forces. Now therefore, I, Robert A. Cashell Sr., Mayor of the City of Reno, Nevada, do hereby proclaim Monday, September 17th, 2012, as Hispanic Medal of Honor Appreciation Day. In and for the City of Reno, Nevada, encourage all citizens to give recognition and appreciation to the armed forces and the Hispanic Society for what they do. Thank you very much.
Just like our other guests, we too also present this medal to our mayor, Bob Cashell. And Bob has been a great leader for our city and also understands the word when it comes to diversity and the demographic, the changing demographics. And so, you know, we have adopted you, Bob, as a Hispanic too as well. So.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Alex, you want to join me? We do have special guests today, and we're about to conclude this event, and thank you so much for being here. We do have representatives from U.S. Senator Reed and Heller, if they want to come up and say a couple of words on behalf. Okay.
Yes, I'd like to first introduce Susan Lisagor, representative for Senator Reed. Here she is. Excuse me.
Thank you so much, Alex, and good morning, everyone. It's pretty humbling, actually, to be up here, especially with our Medal of Honor recipient. My husband, who's both veteran and retired Army, and actually a surgeon who spent much time fixing up wounded soldiers. But he always says when he worked at the VA that when he sees an older veteran, he thinks these were once young, really young soldiers, young bucks once. And it was really great to see the film because we got to see that part of you. And thank you so much for what you've done for all of us. And we're just really deeply honored to have you here in Reno. And I think it is wonderful that this week will end with POW MIA National Recognition Day as well. Thank you for having the flag here from the JROTC. And from Senator Reed, he'd love to be here today and asked me to come on his behalf because he couldn't come. And we wanted to present a certificate of commendation to Rudy Hernandez, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, in recognition of your efforts to raise awareness of Hispanic Heritage Month and the National Hispanic Medal of Honor Society through this Legacy of Valor program. Thank you for your service and sacrifice to our nation. Signed September 17, 2012, Harry Reid, United States Senator. And again, it's really a wonderful honor for me to be able to present it to you, sir. And also because we recognize that these things don't happen on their own, we wanted to present a certificate of commendation to the Nevada Military Support Alliance in recognition of your efforts to raise awareness of Hispanic Heritage Month and the National Hispanic Medal of Honor Society through this Legacy of Valor program, again signed today by Senator Reid. And so I'll present that to Mr. DiLoretto. Thank you for what you're doing for Tim Hall. Yeah, it's an amazing story, isn't it? And lastly, we'd like to present a similar certificate to Truckee Meadows Community College for making this happen. Thank you so much. I'd like to hear again. And thank you all again for being here and allowing me to be part of this great ceremony.
And now I'd like to introduce you to Andy Lingenfelter, who's representative for Senator Dean Heller.
Good morning. Just quickly on behalf of Senator Heller, I would like to thank Truckee Meadows Community College for hosting, Attorney General Cortez Masto for your remarks and words. Those were very heartfelt and appreciate those. The Nevada Military Support Alliance and Mr. DiLoretto for sponsoring this and for doing everything that you do for Nevada's military families and our service members. And most importantly, to Mr. Hernandez for your sacrifice, for everything you've done. Thank you very much.
And we also have medals for each senator as well.
We'll make sure this gets to the senator. This one will go to the senator.
I got one for the senator.
Oh,
If you'll stand over there for me, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
On behalf of Alex and I, TMCC, and the Nevada Military Alliance, thank you for coming out. This is a great start to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month, and it's just another great day for being an American. At this point, I would like to go ahead and have our officers who are here who serve our military and or are in the reserve.
Yes, if we have any active military or anyone who has served, we would appreciate if you would stand now. We would like to take this opportunity to recognize. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. I know we have special guests. We have Chief Hernandez. Thank you so much for being here. Please stand up.
That's our first Hispanic fire chief, just so you know.
Exactly. And to all of my staff, I could not be here if it wasn't for all of your support. So all of my staff and TMCC individuals from Student Services, please stand up and be recognized. And just a special point to Robert Hernandez that spearheads our Veterans Upper Bound. And then we have Roberta Beckford in the back, who also serves a lot of our veterans. Please stand up. So TMCC is very committed to our veterans, and we provide all of that support services for them as well. We do also have TMCC High School here. Please be recognized. TMCC High School. And of course, Ty Cobb, we've introduced you, but please stand up. Senior, thank you so much for being an advocate in this community. And again, a special thanks to my husband, Jesse, who pointed it out to us. I know he met Rick Leal 10 years ago, and I know for many years it was his dream to make sure that we had this display here in Reno, so thank you for pointing that out to us. So this concludes our session. Thank you so much. Oh, one more? Yes.
I'd like to take this opportunity to also recognize our Adjunct General for the state of Nevada, General Burke. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce to you our City Manager, Andrew Klinger, for the City of Reno. And with that being said, I think we are at a conclusion. If there's anyone that I didn't recognize or forgot, I apologize. But this is my lunch break. I have to get back to work, so thank you for coming out.
Thank you very much.